Section 44 of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Purgatorio Canto 10. Purgatory, the first ring. Pride. Instances of humility. The expiation of pride.
When past the threshold of the gate we were, whose use the evil love of souls impairs, because it makes the crooked path seem straight, 'twas by its sound I knew that it had closed. And, had I turned mine eyes in its direction, what would have fittingly excused my fault? We mounted through a fissure in the rock, which moved about to this side and to that, as moves a wave that flees and draweth near.
A little skill must here be used by us,
my leader then began,
in keeping close, now here, now there, to the receding side.
This caused our steps to be so slow and short, that to her bed the waning moon had gone to rest herself again ere we had issued forth from that needle's eye. But when set free we were, and in the open up above, where back the mountain's side recedes, I, weary, and both of us uncertain of our way, stopped short upon a level place up there, more lonely than our roads through desert lands. From where its margin borders on the void, up to the foot of that high-rising bank, would measure thrice a human body's length. And far as e'er mine eye could wing its flight, now on the right, and now upon the left, such did this girding ledge appear to me. Our feet had not been moving on it yet, when I perceived the bank surrounding it, which, being perpendicular, could not be climbed. White marble was, and so adorned with carvings, that not only Polycletus, but nature too, would there be put to shame. The angel who to earth came with the word of peace, which, wept for during many years, had after its long closure opened heaven, appeared before us there in gentle mien, sculptured so truthfully, it did not seem that he could be an image that is dumb. One would have sworn that he was saying, "Hail!" for she was there portrayed in effigy, who turned the key that opened love on high. And in her mien and acts she had the words, "Behold the handmaid of the Lord," impressed as clearly as a figure stamped in wax.
Keep not thy mind on one place only fixed,
my gentle teacher said, who had me there on that side of him where one has his heart. I therefore moved my eyes, and further on than Mary, on the side where him I had, who urged me to go on, I then beheld another story graven in the rock. Passing by Virgil therefore I drew near, so that it might be set before mine eyes. Cut in the marble there the cart and oxen were drawing up the holy ark, which made men dread a charge not given them in trust. People in front appeared, and all of them, forming 7 choirs, made one of my 2 senses say no, and the other one say yes, they sing. So too, by reason of the incense smoke, which there was pictured forth, my eyes and nose became discordant as to yes and no. The humble psalmist there with loins girt up came dancing on before the blessed vessel, and doing so was more and less than king. And Michal, opposite to this portrayed, was from a palace window looking down, as would an angry woman filled with scorn. From where I was, I onward moved my feet, that I might closely note another tale, which after Michal gleamed upon me white. The glorious action of that Roman prince was storied here, whose worth moved Gregory to win his mighty triumph. I refer to Emperor Trajan. At his bridle stood a widow who in tears showed signs of grief. The space around him there seemed trampled down and thronged with horsemen, while above his head eagles, it seemed, upon a field of gold were fluttering in the wind. Among all these the sorrowing woman seemed to say,
"My lord, avenge me for the slaying of my son, which breaks my heart."
And he to answer her,
"Wait now till I return."
And she, like one whom sorrow makes impatient, said,
"But what, my lord, if thou shouldst not return?"
And he,
"That one will do it who shall hold my place."
"How shall another's goddess help thy case?"
She answered him,
"If thou forget thine own."
Then he,
"Now be thou comforted, for needs must I perform my duty ere I leave. Justice so wills, and pity keeps me here."
He to whose vision naught was ever new, created this seen language, new to us, since not found here on earth, while with delight I looked upon the pictures of such great humilities, which for their maker's sake are also dear to see.
On this side, lo, much people come, but slow the steps they take.
the poet murmured.
Toward the grades above, these souls will send us forward on our way.
Mine eyes, intent on gazing, to behold new things for which with eagerness they long, in turning toward him were not slow to move. Yet I do not have thee, reader, shrink dismayed from thy good purposes, through hearing how God wills that what is due to be paid. Heed not the nature of the torment, think of what comes after. Think that at the very worst, beyond the judgment day it cannot go. Then I began, that teacher which toward us I see advancing does not look like people, nor know I what, my sight is so deceived. And he to me,
Their torment's heavy nature so bows them toward the ground, that my eyes too struggled therewith at first. But steadily gaze there, and disentangle with thine eyes what underneath those stones is coming on. Thou now canst see how each one smites himself.
O ye proud Christians, sad and weary creatures, who, sick in mental vision, put your trust in backward-moving steps, perceive ye not that worms we are, created but to form the angelic butterfly, which flies unscreened to judgment? Why then is it that your mind soars up in pride, since ye are, as it were, defective insects, even as is a worm, in which formation is not yet complete? As, to hold up a ceiling or a roof, in lieu of corbel, one perceives at times a human figure joining knees to breast, which out of unreality gives birth to real distress in him who sees it, such seemed these to me, when I had given good heed. They were, in truth, both more and less bowed down, as each had more or less upon his back. But he that in his acts most patient was, seemed to say, weeping, I can bear no more.
End of Purgatorio, Canto 10.